be a no-holds-barred, masterful melee of mechanical mayhem. And joining us tonight in the Housebot Corners will be Shunt, alongside the capable hands of Matilda. Do you want to stay out of their way? You're going to be in that arena.
3, 2, 1, activate.
And here they go. The Brute head up against the Mouse. Shuriken and Red Virus just kind of wandering around, looking to stay alive, probably. There's the Falcon. He's impaled right on top of Shuriken. And the $6 million Mouse goes and breaks up the melee. The Brute, the tiniest one in there, has got the most speed. He's gonna go around. Oh! Medusa Oblongata loses her snake-ridden head. Red Virus goes in there with that forklift arm and decapitates Medusa. Oh, well, it's a good thing they didn't. Oh, Matilda goes in there because they're too close to the corner patrol zone and made Red Virus feel it. Looks like Shuriken's got a little trouble. They're dead in the tracks. And Falcon is in the wrong place at the wrong time, right in that corner patrol zone, and Shunt's gonna let him know it. Shunt with that diamond edge axe is gonna come pounding down. He's got him pinned up against the ropes. A swing and a miss, tier 8. Meanwhile, Red Virus and the Brute are having a major tussle in the center of the arena. Shunt's still trying to penetrate into the Falcon. That Falcon better get out of that corner if he knows what's good for him. There's Mike Regan from the Brute trying to do anything he can do up against the Red Virus team. And there's Shuriken dead in his wheels. Shunt's gonna try to help him. Oh! Shunt gave him a little airtime, put him up on the flipper, sending his dead, lifeless body out into the stratosphere. Look at that, he's ready for the scrap heap now. As Refbot counts down, it's over. Let's see who's gonna make it through. It's gonna be up to the judges. There's definitely a lot of carnage around the arena.
Well, we came here to see some devastation, some domination, and some destruction, and we did not disappoint, did we? Unfortunately, there was no clear-cut winner, so what we'll have to do is leave it in the able hands of the judges. And while the judges deliberate and make their decision, we're going to take a look at some highlights from that action we just saw. Let's take a look.
Well, nobody was bashful from the beginning of this one. They all went in there and want to try to get a piece of each other. Unfortunately for Medusa, the first piece was her. And then Falcon got cornered by the little Brute, and Shunt tried to take full advantage of it. And finally, Shuriken got jettisoned to the scrap heap.
And they're telling us we have a winner from Redondo Beach, California. Ladies and gentlemen, robot fans of all ages, let me introduce Brute.
Well, here it comes. It's coming down to crunch time, and there's the Brute for the first semifinal. The Brute at 194 pounds packs quite a wallop for the amount of size it is. It's been going up against a lot bigger robots and doing some major damage. And there's the Brute's competition, the Revolutionist. The Revolutionist claimed to have a 180-mile-an-hour spin, but we haven't seen it yet. Maybe we'll see it now. It's got cutting teeth, and you can't grab it from anywhere.
Roboteers, stand by.
Brian and Mike Nave up there, ready to go. Doris and Mike Regan and Ron Holmes there for Team Brute. And Shunt, one of the house bots that'll be joining them, trying to keep their nose clean tonight. Alongside him, Sergeant Bash.
3, 2, 1, activate.
This should be a real beauty here. Both of them really good, but for totally different reasons. Well, there's that spin that we were always hearing about. The Revolutionist, you can't get near him at that speed. 180 miles an hour. Oh, and it's already just taken chunks out of the wheels of the little Brute. The little brute doesn't seem to be moving very fast. It must have knocked something loose. Oh, the revolutionist was saving the best for last. Their secret weapon being those cutting teeth. When that thing gets spinning, anything in its way is going to get damaged. Mike Regan there with a thumbs down. His ref bot gives a 10-second count. He's immobilized. Little brute is history. He's toast. He's pushing up the daisies. It's time for the house bots to come in, and the audience is yelling for the pit as Matilda and Bash go in for Little Brute. They're gonna take him out in style. The audience knows it. Refbot knows it. Mike Regan knows it. Sergeant Bash and Matilda know it. There goes the pit now. It's time to bury the poor Little Brute. Matilda getting that nose up there. Poor Little Brute's got one little wheel spinning, and that's about it. Goodbye. Wow, the revolutionist with that secret weapon went to town on the Little Brute.
From Redondo Beach, California, Brute.
Brute in at 215 pounds has a 7-inch ramming spike on the back that looks like it'll do some damage. And if that isn't good enough, the drum on the front ought to kill him.
From Eden, New York, Sir Force-a-Lot.
Well, there's Sir Force-a-Lot, 220 pounds, 5 spinning blades off a camshaft from hell. It's invertible, but the armor isn't really too much to talk about.
From Silvis, Illinois, Conquering Clown.
And the comedy entrant, Conquering Clown at 198 pounds. He burned up real good last year, but this year he's coming back with a steel blade and payback in his mind.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's the Sir Force-a-Lot team, Team Force, and Sir Force-a-Lot there. There's Teams Conquering Clown and Team Vicious for Brute. And there is Brute with that mean spike. And Conquering Clown, ready to do battle. And joining us tonight in the arena will be Sir Kill-A-Lot and his 616 pounds. And with him, the Diamond Edge Axe of Shunt at 240 pounds.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Here we go. Conquering Clown's got a lot to prove this time. He's got that new spinning blade. Let's see if... Oh, he does get some action with it. Takes out a side panel of Sir Force-a-Lot. Look at that. Totally disintegrating him just on impact. Well, Conquering Clown may actually do some conquering this time as the Brute tries to step into the action. But that spinning drum doesn't seem to be doing too much damage up against the Clown. Oh! And Sir Force-a-Lot comes in with a 5 blades and takes a little chunk out of the Clown. The Clown is getting a beating out there as usual. That steel prop of theirs is getting bent up like some kind of weird pitch on a helicopter. Conquering Clown better do something as Brute and Sir Force-a-Lot go head up, and the Clown gets in the middle of them. The Little Brute doesn't seem to be too effective with that spinning drum on the front. They might be a whole lot better off backing in with that spike. Look at the damage on Conquering Clown. Well, he's not on fire yet as the pit trigger gets opened by the Brute. That's a good bit of strategy for them since their weaponry doesn't seem to be too effective. And now the Clown pushes Sir Force-a-Lot right back into the corner patrol zone, and Shunt is going to let him know he doesn't belong there. And that's a good piece of strategy on the Conquering Clown's part to let the house bots do all the work. Because you know that corner patrol zone's a no-go area for any of these bots. If they wander in there, they're going to feel the wrath of Shunt or Kill-A-Lot. They better do like just what he's doing. Get out of that corner. As the 10-second clock goes down, they're all still working, so this is going to have to go to a judge's decision.
Cease.
There are our esteemed judges who will be deciding on style, damage, control, and aggression. And while they're making up their minds, let's take a look at some of the damage. Conquering Clown went right out of the blocks to do some mean damage to Sir Force-a-Lot. Now, if I looked at that again, I think Sir Force-a-Lot or the Brute would be the ones going out, because they were dishing out the least amount of damage.
All right, it was too close to call in my book, but that's what we got judges for. And unfortunately, one of these teams has got to go. And gentlemen, that team is you. You guys are on your way out of the tournament. How do you feel about that?
Oh, well, we built it in 5 days, you know, so...
Built it in 5 days, but still, nonetheless, you were able to literally spray clown guts all over the arena.
Right.
Guys, if you beep that horn again, I swear I'll smack you. I'm going to be honest here. I don't like clowns. They scare me. I don't feel safe when you guys are around. And I wish these guys were still in the tournament instead of you. But nonetheless, you did a good job out there.
We came here to tear them up, so we did.
Okay. And now you guys look very impressive. You look very impressive. You got the rotor going. Looked like it was tearing up some carcasses out there.
Yes, it was. We hope to do more of that, and I sympathize with the guys because I know about building robots quickly like that, but I have to throw this in just because it's too great. Built in 5 days, destroyed in 5 minutes.
Hey, you guys want to do me a favor? Take out these clowns. I want the clown to go down. Well, let's hear it for all these teams up here on Robot War.
Roboteers, stand by.
Well, there's Unibite closest to you and Brute in the distance. And the Team Vicious for Brute with Mike Regan at the controls. There's Team Duct Tape for Unibite with 16-year-old Jerome Miles at the controls. And guarding the CPZs will be Sergeant Bash with a flamethrower. And joining him, Sir Kill-A-Lot.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, Brute's wheels are really vulnerable to some spinning action, which is what Unibite is all about. So if they know any better, they're going to stay away from that disc. But look at the drum on Brute. He's just going in after Unibite, totally putting Unibite on the defensive. Unibite spinning around in disbelief. And the Brute came in with that drum, and now it's in there with a spike. Totally discombobulated the spinning disc. I think what happened was the Brute went in there with that drum and bent that disc so the tooth doesn't have clearance through the chassis of Unibite. Unibite's only got that lifting arm left, and it doesn't seem to have a whole lot of speed to use it. Meanwhile, Mike Regan at the controls for Brute is certainly running circles around its opposition. Brute's got the power of pushing. The grinders are going. The Unibite better come up with something real quick, or else they're going to be bot fodder. There's the drum of Brute getting going again. Seems to me Unibite's pretty well protected from the sides, so the strategy would be to get into it with that spike if he can. He's already done damage to Unibite's spinning disc as Sergeant Bash gets out of the corner patrol zone, and Unibite, with a bit of strategy on its own, goes into the pit trigger. They better hope for a miracle here. They haven't exhibited so much pushing power, but if they can trick the Brute into the pit, it'd be the Brute down the chute, and that'd be all she wrote. Yeah, interestingly enough, it looks like Unibite is hanging around in front of the pit as well, hoping maybe Brute will just kind of cruise by and fall by the wayside. Oh, no! Look at that! The Brute takes himself out! Unbelievable! Wow, just as I said it, they did it. Better keep my mouth shut in the future. But Unibite is loving this. Look at that, hanging around the edge, and goodbye down the chute.
Cease. From Tucson, Arizona, Cyclone.
Cyclone in at 217 pounds didn't have such a great regular season, so they definitely got something to prove today with their vertical spinning disc.
From Redondo Beach, California, Brute.
The Brute's running a rotary drum weapon at the front with a 7-inch ramming spike on the back. At 215 pounds, these guys want to take it home.
From Omaha, Nebraska, the Termite.
The termite in at 165 pounds is running a 40-degree angle on their wheel camber, and he's got some mean-looking teeth on the front of there.
From Acton, California, Revenge.
Revenge, powered by some wheelchair motors. He's got some deadly rotating blades, and at 213 pounds, they're going to be throwing their weight around.
From Citrus Heights, California, Thor's Hammer.
Thor's Hammer, the lightest at 114 pounds. He's got a serious hammer to shake things loose. Let's see if he knows how to use it.
From East Provo, Utah, Hyperactive.
Hyperactive with a 35-pound, 29-inch diameter disc weapon, and at full speed, it gets up to 215 miles an hour.
Robotic, stand by.
And there's the Brute team on the left, Hyperactive in the middle, Thor's Hammer on the right. And there's Revenge on the left, Cyclone in the middle, and the Termite on the right. And joining us in the corner patrol zones will be the ever-present Sir Kill-A-Lot. And alongside Sir Kill-A-Lot, Matilda with her tusks of steel.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Here we go for a no-holds-bar Robotic Bash-a-thon. There's a good shot at Hyperactive. With that wheel, it just flipped Thor's Hammer right up off the arena floor. Hyperactive, 215-mile-an-hour spinning disc has just put Thor's Hammer out of commission as Cyclone comes in for cleanup. And Little Brute's getting in on the action, going in after the hammer. Oh, this poor hammer has had it. Oh, Cyclone, with that spinning disc, flips up and over the hammer, right out of the arena. Now, we know that hammer was a little light, but look at them now. They are out of commission. And as it runs an Annihilator, the first one out, the round is over. But Cyclone ties up Revenge and does some damage to that blade. Well, they better do some quick pit action. Well, both disc bots had a great showing here as they completely abused Thor's Hammer. The lightest bot in the arena was the first to go out, and just look at the shredding action on that spinning disc, 215 miles an hour. And then it was Cyclone's time to demonstrate their disc prowess, and they surely did, as they pushed Thor's Hammer right across the arena, right into the wall, and then for the finishing touch, put him right up out of the arena. So, with Thor's Hammer being the first victim, you'd think they'd all be letting up, but nobody told Cyclone. Cyclone was out for a bit of revenge at the last minute.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's Team Hyperactive on the left and Team Brute on the right. And there's the Termite team on the left, Revenge in the middle, and Cyclone on the right. And guarding those corner patrol zones in this round, Shunt with that Diamond Edge axe. And in the other corner, the flame-throwing Sergeant Bash.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Just like before, as RefBot backs out, only one is going to go out, and 4 will go through to the next round. Termite straight into Hyperactive. Hyperactive trying to get that disc up to speed. And there's Cyclone and Hyperactive fighting it out, and wow! Cyclone just dismantled Hyperactive. Look at that! 2 spinning discs, but the double thickness won through as Cyclone went in there, took the chain off of Hyperactive, and then just dismantled the axle, and now they're destroying him. Look, there's not going to be anything left of Hyperactive after this round, and Cyclone's going after some more. So if he can weaken any other bot in this round before it's over, it's all the better for him. Hyperactive has still got some motor drive, so he's not counted out. The weapons, however, are completely gone. Now Cyclone goes after Brute, flips him, but he's invertible, so he's going to work on those wheels. Look at the piece fly off of Hyperactive. Oh, these guys, There's not going to be much left of him as Cyclone takes him up to the rail. Hyperactive's really in trouble up against the ropes now. Cyclone definitely wouldn't have the power, I wouldn't think, to flip that 220-pound bot out of the arena, but it looks like it's possible as Cyclone does it up and over. Hyperactive is out of there. What a beautiful bit of driving on the Cyclone team. Well, Cyclone are definitely the ones to beat in this Annihilator. They are awesome. Well, with another one out, all RefBot can do is shake its head in disbelief.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's Team Cyclone on the left with Chris Harriman at the controls, and Brute on the right with Mike Regan at the controls. And there's Team Termite on the left with David Gilson at the controls, and Revenge with Valak Sykes. And guarding that CPZ, 616 pounds of Sir Kilowatt. And with him, the first appearance tonight, Dead Metal with that spinning blade.
3, 2, 1, activate.
So here we go. Let's see if the Termite and the Brute can stay out of trouble. They're definitely underweight compared to the rest of these guys. Cyclone is standing there firm, knowing that nobody wants to get near him, as Brute and Termite do a little tussle. Brute has got a nice little wheel on the front, but can't really get it up to speed, and Termite, we haven't seen any weaponry out of them yet at all. As we see Revenge trying to do exactly that. Revenge is looking for some revenge on Cyclone, as Cyclone flips Brute and Termite up at the same time. They've got so much power on that thing, it doesn't matter if he's on fire. If you look real close, I think Cyclone dismantled one of the wheels. Yes, he did. Right on Termite. Termite may be in some drive trouble, which could put them out in an early stage in this round. Cyclone is the one to beat. Or are they? There was a lot of smoke coming off of him, and look, he's got a fire inside. Oh, running over that flame wasn't too good for them. These guys could be in some serious trouble. Oh, that would be such a shame. These guys are an awesome bot. As Kilowatt comes in and takes out the truly immobilized Termite. He wasn't going to wait for RefBot at all. He's taking the law into his own hands. And there's the three-wheel Termite still rolling. As Cyclone goes over the CO2 jet in a fancy piece of driving to extinguish the flames internally. Although that disc isn't moving anymore as Brute hits the pit trigger. The audience knows what time it is, but does the Termite? As he's down to three wheels and he's getting slowly dismantled by Dead Metal, he's in major trouble. But he's still got power to those wheels. Incredible little design. Half the weight of Cyclone, who's in major trouble. Not too much driving going around in the Cyclone team. And they're looking very concerned as they try their reverse gear on Revenge. And Revenge quickly gets out to the front and just gives a little tap on Cyclone. You see that drum on the Brute spinning at full speed finally. Not a major weapon, but it's good for climbing. But it looks to me like the Brute is doing all the work here. Everybody else is being dismantled. Look at Cyclone, no spinning weapon whatsoever. Revenge is doing circles down in the arena, and it looks to me like Termite might have a little battery shortage. These guys aren't moving a bit as Brute nudges them along just to try to get him over to the pit, it looks like. It's got him in reverse with that spike coming out the rear. Will he be able to get him in the pit? It looks like it's going to be possible, but the camber of the Termite on those tires is keeping him from pushing him sideways. But not enough. And they go down.
Cease. Roboteers, stand by.
Team Brute there on the left with Mike Regan at the controls, and Revenge with Valak Sykes. And there's Chris Harriman at the controls for Cyclone. Guarding that corner patrol zone, Sergeant Bash. And with him, Dead Metal and his spinning saw.
3, 2, 1. activate.
Well, hopefully Cyclone had a good pit stop. There's a bit of wobble going on their disc, as they seem to want to go after Revenge. Revenge hasn't had too much in the weaponry department in the first 3 rounds. And it looks like Brute is backed into that pick trigger. Great bit of tactics, a little David and Goliath here, as they are going to try to put somebody else in the pit. Cyclone goes up against Revenge, flips the invertible Revenge, and puts him right into the capable hands of Bash. It's a party in the corner patrol zone. Brute, Cyclone, and Revenge are all taking it out. As Bash comes in to dish out some justice, Brute backs right out of that corner patrol zone because he knows better. And Cyclone is looking for another victim. Could it be Brute? Now, Dead Metal and Bash have Revenge on their minds and Revenge in their pincers, as Revenge is stuck in that corner patrol zone, begging for mercy. I bet you their minutes are numbered here in Robot Wars. Cyclone just sitting out there proudly knowing that Revenge has seen better days. That bot is not moving. The audience is chanting for the pit. The count is going down from RefBot. And by all rights, the housebots have to wait for it. Although, in Robot Wars, we haven't always seen that. And Cyclone and Brute are just sitting back and waiting for the inevitable as the 10-second count goes, and it's time for the housebots to do their work. And Bash goes in with the pincers. Dead Metal's in there with a saw. Are we going to see some Revenge pit action? I think maybe, but not before a nice barbecue. The audience wants the flipper. They want to see old Revenge jettison and get some nice hang time in the process. As Dead Metal drags that dead Revenge across to the flipper, backs up. Let's see if we can get some hang time out of him. Nice bit of flying. Well, if he could have landed on somebody, that would have been a much better weapon than they were using, because these guys were out of it before they even started. Nice looking invertible bot, though. He never really recovered from that first bout with Cyclone. Took him apart as Bash backs poor Revenge into the hole. Almost put himself in there. It's all over.
Cease. Roboteer, stand by.
There's Bob, Chris, and Patrick for Cyclone, and the awesome Cyclone. And Julio, Mike, and Ron for the Brute. And there's the Brute. The housebots in this final will be a flame-throwing Sergeant Bash and the pushing power of Shunt.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
And here we go for the Annihilator belt. Whoever survives this one will be walking away with some brass. And immediately, Brute goes head up with Cyclone and takes Cyclone from underneath. There's a drive belt laying on that arena floor that looks like it was dislodged by the Brute. The Brute has that metal roller on the front. Maybe a little bit too much metal for the Cyclone boys. It looks like Mike Regan was right about his little weapon on the Brute. That metal just tore the extra build off a Cyclone. He's still got power with that disc, but my guess is he doesn't have as much power. And there is something wobbling on Cyclone's blade now, as the little Brute is coming up with the goods in this final. We never thought they were going to do this good. But he better get out of that corner patrol zone before Bash does some flame throwing. Yeah, Cyclone's wheel has definitely been immobilized. They've got no power left on their weaponry, which means it's going to be straight down to driving. So Brute against Cyclone, and the playing field has been leveled a little better as Shunt comes down on Brute. And Brute luckily gets out of the way. Shunt with that diamond edge axe, burying it into the side of Brute. Brute better stay out of that CPZ if he knows what's good for him. And now he's backing Cyclone into the corner patrol zone. Let's see what Shunt will do to Cyclone. Cyclone getting dragged back by the tracks. And Shunt is trying to bury that axe right into the back of Cyclone. There's the Cyclone boys looking like they're in some serious trouble. And all they've got left is some strategy, and they're using it as Cyclone goes into the pit trigger. Hopefully, they're going to dump the Brute in it, because that's going to be their only way out. As Bash gets Brute cornered into the corner patrol zone. Poor Brute is taking some major abuse, 100 pounds lighter than his opposition in this round, and it takes a housebot to dispose of him. So you tell me what's fair. Now, in all fairness, actually, Brute did spend a lot of time in the CPZs, so he deserves what he gets, as Refbot clears Cyclone out of the way and goes for the countdown. This could be an upset, because Brute was doing so well, Cyclone got dismantled. But you know what happens here on Robot Wars? You last too long in the round, is a good possibility your power source is going to be kaput. And that's what's happened to Brute, as the housebots come and make handy work of them. The audience is chanting for the pit as Shunt pushes Brute out into the middle of the arena. And Brute is going down to inevitable end as Cyclone goes through as the Annihilator champion. And what a great design they were. Even though they weren't working towards the end of this round, they had what it took to make it to the end.